plaintiff, Doretha Folden, says after she got married to the defendant, he cheated on her several times, and he even moved another woman into their home. Doretha is suing her ex today for an illegal eviction and emotional distress. Defendant Brian Folden insists he and Doretha were in an open relationship, and they often participated in threesomes together. Brian's countersuing his ex for stolen property.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Well, I met my ex-husband 26 years ago, and we was kicking it, just having fun. And my sons, I have 3 sons, they're not his. They actually thought that he was their father.
That's not their father?
No, sir.
Oh, okay.
But he was in my life that long, to the point where my sons thought that he was their father.
Okay, but they knew he wasn't.
Yes, after I sat him down and explained it to him.
Got it. All right.
Yes. So as fast forward in 2013, he asked me to marry him a couple of times, and I asked him, I said, well, if you're serious about marrying me, well...
Were you single up at that time?
Yes.
So you all had dated how long?
So when we first started, it was like 4 or 5 years, and then we got separated, or we departed.
How long did you date before you married?
We've been knowing not that long.
Okay,
not that long at all.
Just say you don't know.
Not that.
All right, just say you don't know.
No, I don't know.
You can't keep dates about
Yes.
you and your husband's 26-year relationship.
Yes,
I
sir.
understand. All right. Do you know how many years you all dated before you got married, like most people do?
We was off and on. She was more like a...
Yeah, you don't know either.
No,
all right. Let's go ahead. Well, how was the relationship?
In the beginning, it was fine, you know.
Off and on mean you add it all together.
Yeah.
All right.
You know.
Go ahead.
But it was nice in the beginning, you know. He was a stand-up guy, and I figured that, he taught me and my sons. He helped us out, so I felt that, when he asked me to marry him, that I was all in.
All right.
So I asked him, I said, well, you want some time?
Do you know the date of that?
It was in...
The year?
Yes, that was 2013.
Huh?
The year that he asked me was 2013.
What
We got
year did
married
you
in
actually get married? You having a tough time with the
2014.
marriage thing? Pardon?
2014.
All right. 14, you were married. Okay. Yeah. And since 14, how did that go?
Well, in the beginning, it was fine until he decided he wanted to venture out and see other avenues as far as...
What year did that be?
2015, 2016.
Okay. How did you find out?
You know how women have intuition. And
how did your intuition become a fact?
Yes, I didn't catch him actually having marital affairs until 2017, 18. But 2019, it was more of upfront in my face.
And he admitted that in 15 he was doing it?
He didn't admit to anything.
Oh, okay.
He never admitted to anything.
All right.
Until he only admitted to it when he finally actually moved a female that has kids by him into the house.
You said, didn't we do? Well, let me tell you how you just did me. He never admitted anything. He never admitted anything. He never admitted anything. The only time he admitted something.
2019.
Well, then that's not never, man.
That's at that time. You're right. Man. You're right.
Yes, he did admit.
That's true.
All right. So, in 15, nothing really happened because it was an intuition.
Yes, sir.
So what year did you have facts?
2019.
2019. And how did you find that out?
He moved a female into the house.
Okay. And how did that, what did you say when you saw her clothes coming in?
Actually, she was just there herself. I came home from work and she was still in my house.
She didn't wear clothes? She wore your clothes?
She had on clothes, but I didn't see any baggages coming in the house.
You say she moved in with you, ma'am, just because you weren't there when she walked in the door?
That's correct, sir. I was at work.
But how long after she walked in the door with her clothes did you see her and know that she had brought her clothes into your house with you and your husband?
2019. You want a date? I can't give you a specific date.
All right. Was it at night?
It was in the middle of the day, afternoon.
There you go.
It was an afternoon after I got off work around 4 or 5 o'clock.
That's when you determined
Yes, sir.
That's what I just asked you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
So we know now that you found out the same day.
Yes, sir.
So did you say something to him or her the first day?
Yes, sir.
That she moved her things in?
Yes, sir.
And what did you say to him?
I asked him what's going on. He said she's only here temporary until she find a place to stay.
Did you ask who she was?
Yes, sir.
And what did he tell you?
He told me her name.
Told you her name. Did
Yes,
he
sir.
tell you any relationships with her?
Just nope. He didn't tell me anything.
He didn't, and
No,
you
sir.
didn't mind? You didn't bother to further
Yes, sir.
inquire?
Because I started asking her questions. I started talking to her. I wanted to know like what is going on, what's happening.
Why are you here? Why have you moved in my
To my-
house?
right.
Where do
She
you know
moved-
my husband from?
Yes, all that.
And what did she tell you?
They actually been messing around prior to her coming into the house.
And so then you said, oh, okay, as long as I know that, you can go ahead and stay.
You know.
What happened?
So I literally asked her to move out. I said, you have to go. You have to
That
leave.
first day?
No, actually the week later.
What were you thinking for that week?
How the heck am I gonna get out?
Okay. So you were going to let a woman run you out your own house? That's what
No, I was just gonna go ahead and just let it alone because if he been messing around with this female and I just now found about it when he moved into the house, so I'm like,
Why didn't you ask him to, and the woman to leave?
I did. He didn't go nowhere. He wasn't gonna go nowhere.
And she wouldn't go anywhere?
She went because like he said, this is my house. I run the rules, and
Yeah,
can't
that's what
nobody
he told
tell me what to do in my house.
You were his wife?
Pretty much. Yes, sir. I was his wife. Sorry. Yes, sir. I was his
Hear
wife.
from you, sir. Hotel, give us some background on this.
Well, yeah, my first mistake was marrying my side chick. We was together back in the 90s, but like I said, she was my side chick. I got incarcerated, and then when I got out, that's when we rekindled and get back together. I figured she was going to school, she wanted something, was headed in the right direction.
What year was that? Did you
2013.
come home
2013. That's
and
when I came home.
began an earnest attempt to have a relationship.
Right.
And
But
what happened?
we always had an open relationship. You know what I'm saying? It was always understood as long as you can do whatever you do, as long as you come home every night and you don't bring no mess home with you.
But you brought mess home.
No, no. Her story is
Said you
incorrect.
oh, okay. She knew that you were moving a woman in?
I called her at work and asked her if it was all right. And she said, okay.
No.
Is that true?
No.
Okay, and when you say open relationship, does that mean you could date who you want? That's the extent of it?
That's it. You know what I'm saying? Go have sex with somebody and come home.
Okay, because some people open relationship also carries over to threesomes. And
Right. We had threesomes also. We went
okay,
to.
well, that's why I was asking you.
Yeah,
I gotta pull this. I gotta pull everything out of
Yeah,
y'all.
like I said, we done
Don't
had
come in here
threesomes.
scared to admit what you've done.
I'm not.
Be who you've been.
Oh, no, I
What do you
just
mean,
ain't got a chance
nah, you act like you had no idea why you had a woman move in with you. Now I'm finding out you had an open relationship.
We
Is that
did
true
not.
or
No, that's not true.
Be quiet and answer my question. Is it true
No.
that you all had an open relationship?
No, sir.
Okay, so do you have any evidence of this big determining factor?
of it being an open relationship.
Yes, text, anything where you said, okay, you know we can see each other, you know we can see who we want. Any type of evidence, because she denies it wholeheartedly.
If you look at page 2 of the evidence, she stole my phone that had that. So
She what?
stole a phone from me that had the evidence that you're talking about.
This is a picture of a phone at a store.
I had an S9 that she stole from me when she moved out. She came back to my house.
Okay, and that's your counterclaim, obviously?
Yes.
Okay, and so your counterclaim is for the phone that has all the evidence on there indicating that you all had an open relationship.
Oh, it's more than that, you know. I can sit here and talk to you.
Yeah, you have to convince me of this.
I mean, it was-
You can't just say this stuff
Okay.
against your wife and she denies it and I'm just gonna let it go. Tell me about the first time you all determined you had an open relationship. What year was that and how did that discussion go? When was that?
Maybe 97, we had a threesome with one of her friends.
Did that happen?
Yes, sir. We weren't married then either.
I didn't ask you earlier whether you were married. I asked if you had an open relationship. I didn't say while you were married. Now, go right ahead, sir. Give me some more evidence.
In
She admits
2019
now that you had an open relationship as of 97.
Right.
All right, got that. And somehow, when did you change?
We got married, Your Honor.
And that's when you changed?
No, it was we already be changing before that. We got married. When he asked me to marry
Since
me.
marriage, you've never acknowledged or allowed him to date other women?
No, sir.
To your knowledge?
It ain't no to my knowledge, no, sir, because when he asked me to marry him, I asked him, I said, well, if you marry me, I'm not getting a divorce.
Since 2014, have you done it?
We've had a couple threesomes since then. In 2019, she brought one of her friends home for a threesome.
In 2019?
2019.
That didn't happen?
No, sir, that did not happen. That's the 26-year-old female that he has kids by now. He had, like I said, brought her home.
No, we're not talking about
I know
who
that.
you
I'm about
brought
to
home.
give you.
I don't want to hear that.
Oh, okay. But the friend that
I'm
he's
asking
talking
you,
about.
I don't want to hear what you're saying. I want you to answer my question.
Yes, sir.
And that is, did it happen in 2019
No,
that
sir.
you brought a woman home?
No, sir.
All right, so describe the circumstances. She denies that thoroughly again. She says you all haven't done anything like that since marriage. You say you have done it a few times, so much so that she brought the woman in 2019. Give me the circumstances surrounding that to convince me that that was true.
So in 2019, her friend, I guess her baby daddy or husband had passed away. And she felt sorry, so she said that she can come over, we can have threesomes with her.
To make her feel better.
To make her feel better.
Pity sex.
Yeah. You know, I wasn't going to complain. 'Cause at the same time, that was the same time that she was talking about I moved my young girl in at the same time. So, you know, I was living the life. We was all there.
Did you have a friend whose husband died in 2019?
No, sir. I know a person, her baby daddy died in 2019. She was not my friend.
Okay.
And we did not have a threesome with that female that he is referring to.
I heard you say that before.
Because that's the truth. We did not have no.
You say that before. Why are you shaking your head, rolling your eyes and
I'm
all
not
that?
saying.
I have a very much a right. I won't go into it then. How about that? He's already convinced me that it happened. And since when I go back to you, you have an attitude. Now suddenly I know a person who did it, but she wasn't my friend. Got it. Prove the money to me.
Okay, so
How does he owe you $2,500?
When he threw me out the house.
When?
He threw me out the house in 2019 of July.
When did you all get divorced?
March the 30th of this year. 2019, he threw me out the house. He told me to basically get out the house. I had nowhere to go. He literally put me in the car, which he had purchased for me, dropped
Why
me
did he tell you he wanted you to leave?
because of his young female that he had in the house along with the other female. So
Along with the other female.
yes, sir.
So he moved two in.
Yes, sir. Well, I know about the one. I don't know about the other. I just knew about the one.
What
The
do you
next
mean?
door neighbor.
You just said the other female.
I'm sorry, sir. I had the question messed up. I'm gonna say this. He moved the one female in, okay, and he moved the other female in. As far as I know, because he dropped me off in the car that he purchased for me.
Two.
He purchased for me, dropped me off over a friend's
Ma'am,
house.
you just said again that it was two.
Yes,
the
sir.
second one, he moved her in as far as I know.
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to even give you a chance to keep saying this. Sir, what do you have to say? A counterclaim for stolen property. When was this property stolen?
After she moved out,
When?
July of 2000. 2019, July 2019.
All right. You just got divorced March 21st. Every single thing you're mentioning now happened while you were married. You should have mentioned it to that judge. That judge would have told you how to handle it. If you have not, you can go back and amend your divorce petition and ask them to include the things that you forgot to include last time. The illegal eviction, the money owed. How you going to owe each other money? It's both your money. Put your hand down. I don't need to hear no more of your confusion. Don't y'all freak off with all these other women and you won't be divorced. Have a good day.
You wrong as you know you wrong as you lied like
Lying.
you lying like Brian. You ain't sit up there and drop me off over some house
All
with
I'm saying
nothing.
is, y'all got some kind of mental
Without
health
nothing.
counselor around here because she need help.
You ain't throw me out the house. You ain't changed the locks on the door.
Hold on.
You ain't do none of that. You trying to
You
tell
just
yes
said-
or no? It's a simple yes or no. You ain't
I'm
do none
trying
of
to say
that.
something. You just said I dropped you off with the car I bought you, so I bought you a car and dropped you
No,
off.
I did not say
that
it.
don't
Were
even
you
make
lying
sense.
now?
You
I
just
ain't said
said
that. I know I
that.
did not. I said you didn't just drop me off with nothing. You ain't
had-
drop me off over
how
here
can
with
I
nothing.
drop
You
you
ain't
off if
changed
you
the
had
lock
your
on
own
the door
car?
so I couldn't get into my things
How
out the
can I
house.
drop you off if
Is
you
it a
got your
simple
own
yes or
car?
no?
No.
You lying.
Plaintiff Maria Faria dated the defendant for 2 years, but she broke up with him after she caught him sending naked pictures of himself to other women and men. Maria is suing her ex for an unpaid loan and unreturned property. Defendant Manuel Bermudez says his relationship with Maria was toxic because she was obsessive and possessive, and she called his cousin 2 hours before her wedding to tell her Manuel was having sex with her fiancé. Manuel denies owing Maria for anything.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Okay, so this man is my ex. We were dating for 2 years. And I had to break off this toxic relationship because he's a chronic cheater. Okay?
How many times did you catch him cheating?
Well,
In 2 years.
in 2 years, I have a lot of text messages that I read on his phone, lots of pictures that I found, okay? Pictures of him, his penis, to other women, other girls.
More than one girl?
Yes. And not only girls, it was men. I don't know either this man is gay, homosexual, okay? Or he likes both, or, you know, I maybe he changes the name. Because how are you going to be like, hey, Carlos, hi, sexy, how are you?
So when you say, why are you sending pictures of your private to men?
Yes, I did
What did
many
he say?
times. He denies it all the time.
Okay, all
Says
right.
it's my friend, you know, he laughs it off. He doesn't
Okay,
take it
he does admit it's a man that he's sending it to.
Yeah, he
Okay, and he says that's just a joke him and his friends engage in.
yeah.
All right. Do that with your
That's a
friends?
lie.
No.
Maybe I'm behind the times. How old are you all?
I'm 25.
I'm 29.
Oh yeah, we just behind the times.
guess.
That's probably the new thing. All right, so you've discovered that among other texts to many women.
Yes, we broke up officially in 2017. We've been dating from 2015. And then after we officially broke up, it was the Hurricane Maria that came up in Florida. Okay, I live in Florida. So we had to evacuate, and I asked him very nicely, hey, why don't we, you know, get together, make this work? And he said that he invited me and his other girlfriend, the blonde one.
I didn't invite her.
And he said, well, you can tag along with us, you know, in separate cars. You can just come with us. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, it was
Did
really...
he say why he wanted the both of you to come?
Well, we're going to do like a party or something
All right.
like that. So I thought it was really disrespectful. I mean, there's other ways to suggest that.
Not true at all.
I think
That's not true at all.
you're a liar. I know.
You
That's
gotta know
not
how
the way to
work
treat
that.
a
A lot
lady.
more finesse than that, sir.
What is the right way?
Those were my earlier days prior to marriage.
Let me know.
Prior to marriage, I could have told you how that goes. All right, let me hear from you, sir.
At first, I went to tell that what she said is not true. I didn't invite her with me. I just told her I don't want to go with you there because I'm seeing other person. I didn't want to be with her because our relationship really was toxic.
Why? Was it toxic?
Because of her actions. She was always checking my phone. She knows that. Checking my phones, checking my social media. She was asking questions if I go out, for example, with guys. Once we were out with the guys, I told her, I'm going out with the guys. Then when I was there, she called one of my friends. Is he there with you? What is he doing? Where are you?
That's not
Yeah,
true.
try to control me.
That's a lie.
All the time trying to
Was
catch
that
me.
after she had discovered any of these texts?
Those texts are not even true, are in her head. So, okay, so we had that relationship, and at some point, at the beginning, it was good, so because I was thinking she was normal. But then she started acting like obsessive and possessive. She wanted to catch me, And then at some point I said maybe she will change in the future when she will trust me or something like that. But it never happened at all. It never changed. I couldn't deal with that anymore, so I decided to broke with her. And so I told her, I don't want to be with you anymore, but she couldn't accept it. So even we had a plan, we were together, we had a plan to go to my cousin's wedding. But then...
The two of you.
Yeah, exactly. But then after we broke up, I decided not to bring in her. But then, listen this, and you will know why she's crazy. That really crazy.
Go ahead.
She waited for the date of the marriage, and the day of the marriage, my cousin was getting married, she sent a text message to her, and she told her, listen, Manuel is having sex with your husband. So you gotta check. You gotta check.
On her wedding day?
Yeah, just 2 hours. She was making her makeup and the hair.
I don't believe that. You did that?
I called her and I told her.
Why did you do that?
Because it's true.
How long before the wedding did you find out about it?
It was a week before the
Right,
wedding.
so why didn't you tell her then? Instead of letting her get made up, having her dress on, her wedding is about to begin, and that's what you drop on her 2 hours before.
No,
that is horrible. Let's move on to what you're suing for, the loan and the property. Go ahead. Let's hear from you on that.
I just want to clarify that I told her a week before, and it's true.
Go ahead.
So I'm suing Manuel because I gave him a loan before we broke up.
When?
It was 2017.
What month?
July.
You loaned him how much?
$950.
Okay, and when was he to repay?
When he could, but it's
Okay.
been more than a year now.
All right. And what about the property?
It's a camera that I left in his house by accident.
When?
It was before we broke up. About the same...
Around
like,
the same time, the
September.
summer of 17?
Yeah, 2017.
That about when you broke up?
Yeah. But
Summer of 17?
Yeah.
All right. And you say you left a camera?
I did.
When did you first ask him to return it?
I told him many times. I called him even this year. I called him, several times. He didn't answer. He just going up in the curve and he just...
Okay. The first time, though, when you asked him for it?
It was after we broke up, but we've been seeing each other on and off after the breakup. I did.
All right. Seeing each other in what capacity?
As friends and also dating. You know,
Okay.
it's a relationship, one of those relationships.
Got it.
On and
So
off.
how many times did you all see each other after you left your camera with him?
I would say about 10 times.
Okay. So 10 times when you saw him, you knew he had your camera and you knew you wanted it back.
Yes.
Does it make sense to you that a man you break up with and you leave property with, you ask him for your property, he doesn't give it back? That's the first time. So the second time comes up. You do whatever, you go on your date. Can I have my camera? Nope. Third time comes around. Can I have my camera? Nope. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th, 10th. Why do you keep giving him some of your time and he won't give you your camera? That just doesn't sound reasonable.
That is right. It's a toxic relationship, Your Honor.
Okay, that's not a good answer. Sir, you tell me about the loan and the property.
that is not true. I don't know her anything because she gave me that camera and that money as a gift for our anniversary. So
What did you give her?
July 27th.
What did you give her?
I didn't give her anything.
Why?
You see?
Because I didn't have money at that time. So she knew I was needing that money and said, let's celebrate. We went out that time. We went out. I invited her to eat.
Why do you think she made it $950?
Because she knew I was needing that money to fix
Okay,
my
why not
car.
an even 1,000? If you're gonna give a gift, that sounds odd. People
Because
come
she-
and say, "I need to borrow $950," because you're just trying to borrow the amount you need. Now, this camera, I'm not so sure about. That was also for your anniversary.
Even I have the text messages here.
Okay.
Proof that she's using that camera just to get in contact.
There you go.
on
Now
that
that's what I'm
26.
saying. I'm not sure about this camera, but that cash, sir, that sounds like a loan. All right. It's been a while. This is you. It's been a while. I don't know how to say this, but I need my camera back again. It's okay not to talk.
Yeah.
And it was a gift?
It's my camera, and I told him, well, you can use it as well. We can take pictures together for trips, but it's still my camera. And I said, oh, it's for you and I.
You have any other texts regarding the money?
No, that's the only text I have. I couldn't get the others.
Yeah.
But she knew that. She knew that I was needing that money to give it to fix my car. That's why she gave it to me as a present.
You should have. You shouldn't have.
You know that. You know that.
You shouldn't have just denied that camera. Now you're not going to get anything, because I can't believe anything now. This is very clear. You say it was a present for our anniversary. You say it right here. Your claim is dismissed. Have a good day.
This man is ridiculously gay, and he owes me money and my camera.
She really needs help, and professional help, to go and fix her head. That's what she needs.
Plaintiff Sandy Learhuber dated the defendant for over 8 years, and it was problematic from the start. Sandy claims the defendant eventually became physically abusive, and not even counseling could save the relationship. Sandy's suing her ex because she says he vandalized her property. Defendant Joseph Kendall says Sandy was violent and aggressive, and he called the police on her numerous times due to her behavior. Joseph claims Sandy once threatened him with a knife in front of his children, and he's countersuing for defamation and emotional distress.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Well, Your Honor, Mr. Kendall and I had an 8.5-year problematic relationship. Ultimately, at some point, it
When
ended
did it turn bad?
Woo, way in the beginning.
Like first year?
When I was about 5 months pregnant with our daughter, he was out gambling.
Was that first year?
That was within the first, no, that was into the second year, actually. And things were getting worse and worse. And ultimately, January 1st of 2015, he had put hands on me. And at that point,
not true, Your Honor.
is absolutely
She would
true, Your
attack
Honor.
me.
It was absolutely true, Your Honor.
He was abusive.
I had asked him at some point to help me take down the Christmas tree. I wanted to redo the house, clean up, rearrange things, get things fresh for the new year, and he had agreed more than a week and a half before. We took down the tree. He said, I'm out of here, I gotta go, whatever he was gonna do, play golf, poker, whatever it was. Everything was always more important than family or anything like that. He never helped me. My 80-year-old dad would be out there cutting the grass, and he'd be sitting on the couch on the computer.
That's not true.
So that is absolutely true. And he never, ever, ever went out to go help him, not once. And when we had that
I gotta
disagreement-
admit, I'm terrible with my hands. My wife won't even let me do anything with my hands.
I never laid a hand
Over
on
the
this
course
woman.
of 37 years. She said,
In fact, she pulled out a
no
knife on-
twisting in light bulbs, no anything. If I cut the grass, it'll be uneven. Everything. I don't do anything. On the other hand, however, when she watches me walk out that door, 80% of the time, I'm coming back with some money.
Right.
For a check. I ain't playing videos. I'm not going to hang with my boys.
Sure.
I'm getting a check, so I don't have to do anything with my hands because my wife say, just bring that check. Just bring that check. I'll get a handyman. You just get that check. All right.
He didn't do that either. He
He
spent
didn't
6
get a
months at a
handyman.
time on the couch, so.
That's your 80-year-old father doing.
That's right. That's right, Your Honor. So we had a disagreement about it, and then the violence happened. And then after that point, I was like, it had already been a year and a half before that I was asking him to change his behavior, that if he didn't, he shouldn't be surprised if I started seeing someone else. To his face, I told him almost daily. And we at some point had gone to counseling, and we did try, and we did very well at that time. Then my mother died, and he freaked out. I don't know what happened. And then after that, he went back to his old ways. I begged and begged and begged to go to counseling again. We went for like maybe a month at the most, and then the counselor fired us because he wouldn't do any of the stuff. That's absolutely true. And then we went so after the violence happened, he actually tackled me on the couch, bashed me in the face with his arm.
This is in January of 15.
January
was
1st,
restraining you.
2015.
You were attacking me.
I did no such thing. I didn't even touch you.
You
I did
threw
not
pots at
touch
me. I had
you.
black
Let me get
eyes.
some background from him. What do you want to tell me
Your Honor,
background on the case?
In 2014, Your Honor, she pulled a knife out on me in front of my children.
Not true, Your Honor.
They had
Let
to
him
run
finish,
to
man.
they had to run to their room screaming, crying, and I had to go console them.
Why'd she do it?
She said that I was threatening her, but I did not threaten her.
Why do you think she did
She
it?
was nagging me. She was giving me a hard time. I said to back off, and then she was like, "Oh, you're gonna do something," and then she grabbed a knife.
Your Honor, he told me He told me he was going to knock me the 4-letter expletive out.
I got it. Your
Yeah.
description sounds more reasonable. Any other background you want to give me to respond to you being lazy?
Your Honor, this woman didn't work for 7 years. All I did was work and provide. I paid her bills, phone bill, cable bill, every bill.
Well, I was a homemaker when I was not working. And what happened, the reason I wasn't working was because I'd gotten hurt at work and I was home and hurt going through workers' comp.
Understandable.
Then my mother died. Then my father became sick and I became his caregiver.
Understandable. What happened with the counseling? Sir, you all went to counseling a couple of stretches. What happened?
Your Honor, the counselor directed her to treat me with respect and kindness at any cost, and she would never follow any of those requests from the counselor. She was always aggressive, even violent, and
That's
like
not true.
I called the cops on her before, and she would flee the scene to not get arrested.
That's not true.
Yeah.
What'd you call the police on her for?
When she was attacking me.
I've never
the
attacked
knife?
him, Your Honor.
Yeah, well, no, another time on Father's Day, she attacked me.
And what was the result of that? Did the
She
police
fled the
ever
scene.
get involved?
The police
in
came
any
over
of
to the
them?
house and they asked if I wanted to file a report, and she wasn't there, so they couldn't.
Do you have
They
a
couldn't
report,
proceed.
though? They can take a report.
I
Do you
didn't
have
file
any
a-
reports?
I didn't file a police report, but
Any? You did? All right. So you have no reports regarding
Not
these
from that
incidents.
time period.
Do you have any reports?
I absolutely do, Your Honor. Oh, wait,
Okay.
for the violence?
Yes.
For the,
police.
police report-
Anytime the police were called, if they took a report, I want to read it.
I have for the incident that we're here for, and then I
Let me
have
see that then,
in our
the first one.
in our. I also filed a police report when he had grabbed me at our daughter's ballet recital. He put hands on me there because our daughter had asked.
At the event or
At the
inside
event,
the venue?
inside the facility, in front of
she got in
children
my
and
face and
parents.
put her finger right in my face.
And
my
our daughter
face.
had asked.
And in her face.
She touched you?
Yes, Your Honor.
No,
she had
I
her
did
finger
not
just
touch him.
like 1 inch away
I
from
did
my
not
nose, saying,
touch him.
You hold
at
on.
all.
I just asked you if she touched you, and you said yes, Your Honor.
Well, it was
and now
right
you're
here.
saying 1 inch away.
1 inch away, Your Honor.
Yeah, but you immediately said yes, Your Honor. It's not funny.
Your Honor, I went
This
to
is
court
the
over this
domestic
report, and the
violence
judge
report.
threw it out.
But I want to see what you told the police in these cases. That's what I like to read. Let's get to the damaged property you're suing him for.
Okay. What happened was, at some point, I had told Mr. Kendall that I was going to start seeing other people,
You
and
told him every day.
I told him every day. But then I
You know,
told
at
him
some point. Go
At
ahead.
some point, it was now I'm going to.
Okay.
And so I did, and he didn't like it. And the next day, he tried to hold me hostage in the house and not allow me to go to work.
I wasn't
Or
holding you hostage.
I was going.
How?
I said,
Did
let's
you?
separate our
He
stuff.
stood in front of the door and he wouldn't let me out the front door. And my daughter's little friend came and knocked on the door, and then when they knocked, he opened and I pushed through and I went out. I took the keys, I jumped in the truck. When I came out to the truck, I locked the door. He tried to jump on the back while I was driving away. And then I just sped off and went to work, went to where I was going, and then I went over to Mr. Hoff's residence at that time. At that time, we were just friends. We had been friends for 10 years or 12 years.
I don't believe that.
And I had left my phone at the house, and I wasn't going back for it because of his behavior. So he started sending text messages to Mr. Hoff's phone telling me to come outside and this and that. So I went outside and I said, oh, this is what happened today. He tried to hold me hostage and da-da-da-da-da-da. I said, I'm going to go talk to him, but, stay close. And so he did, and I went out and talked to him. He was very belligerent. He was very aggressive towards me, and he insisted that I was going to go with him and all this stuff. And all the times I'd asked him to go to counseling, he always told me, you go. And then he said, we're going to counseling now. And I said, no, you go, just like he told me. And he wouldn't leave, and he was getting louder and louder. It was like 11 o'clock at night or so. Mr. Hoff came out of the house and said, hey, listen, we got neighbors here, and you can't be out here shouting and acting crazy in front of my neighbors, and you got to go. And so finally, he left, and then he didn't feel comfortable with me going home at some point, and I just stayed there. I figured it'd be better, let him cool off, So he started sending messages to Mr. Hoff's phone saying, every minute that you're gone, it gets worse. You're going to be sorry that you did this, things along those lines. And then, so about 6:30 in the morning, we left. He came with me. We went to my house. He followed me, and all my belongings, my father's belongings, our daughter's belongings, some of his own belongings, our daughter's pictures. They were out laying in front of the house covered in cat litter and used cat litter with feces, and then hosed down and ground up, and he tore things up and he broke things. He took my mother's fine collectibles, and we couldn't find them for a while, and then he told me that he'd thrown them in the wash behind our house. They were broken, and she was deceased.
Your Honor, the night that she's talking about, I went to Mr. Hoff's residence, and I said, I want to just separate our stuff, so I want this over, I want to leave.
That's a lie. That's an
And-
absolute lie.
Let him finish.
Sorry.
Because I had been living there for months, for years, and she was going behind my back for I don't know how long.
Not true.
Sleeping with Mr. Hoff.
Never.
And
Never.
I went there that night because I got the phone records, and I saw that she was repeating the same number, and I got his residence through a Google search, and after that I went there, and I wanted to leave. I wanted it over. So she didn't want to come with me. I went back to the house. I threw all her stuff outside, and I left. I soaked it with the hose. That was it. I was
And
done.
the cat box.
I don't recall that. There's a lot of cats in the neighborhood. It might have been one of them. I don't know.
They bring their litter with them, Your Honor.
You're supposed to burn it if you want to be like Angela Bassett.
But if she
and
was
wait
so
until
worried
it's
about-
tail, you have to burn it. She burned them in the car, I believe it
Yeah.
was.
If she was so worried about this stuff, Your Honor, why did she wait over 3
Your
years to file this
counterclaim
case?
for $5,000 for defamation. How does she owe you?
Your Honor, she filed an ex parte to Chatsworth Court. I lost, through the investigation, I lost custody for 4 months.
For what?
She made false accusations that I was on drugs and that my wife was abusive.
Both of those things are
And
true.
That was her claim, yeah, but these are false accusations. I have a drug
Show
test.
me something that indicates why you lost custody. No, I don't want that.
Oh, why I lost custody?
lost
Yes,
custody
because you
because
say it was because of what
the
she said.
DCFS case she filed?
It's going to say what she said?
Yes.
All right, let's see it, please. I hope it does, because otherwise your case is over.
All right.
People hand me documents and say it says one thing and it says something different. That happens a lot, in fact.
filed it.
So this is supposed to tell me that she made the report against you
Yes.
and that you were exonerated.
Yes.
All right. This is, Dear Mr. Kendall, thank you for your cooperation during our investigation. Effective such and such, your referral has been closed by this department. The reason for this action is that the allegation of child neglect was inconclusive, not unfounded. There's also a box they could have put unfounded.
There is another, the final
and then
report.
actually,
It's unfounded.
and a safety plan. You can't speak out in the courtroom, ma'am. All right, now you said this would say she made those allegations. Show me her name or read her name. Does not say anything in reference to her. So your counterclaim is dismissed because I saw nothing in reference to her name defaming you. $5,000, you admit to damaging her property. Yours is granted, yours is dismissed. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor. He's just been, ever since that happened, the jealousy has spawned all kinds of spiteful behavior, and I just want it to stop for peace for our daughter. That's it.
If you want to stop
Yeah.
filing all the
If she
case.
wants to stop filing court cases against me. This is like the 8th one, so.
This is the 8th one, and she always normally, her case normally always been thrown out, but this time she wants.
So
That's such a lie. That's why I won ex parte, right?
1 out of 8.
Okay.
Plaintiff Christina Cole dated the defendant, and she claims he's so cheap that he would often buy things for her and then bill her at the end of the month. Christina's suing because she claims the defendant ran over her dog and left him permanently disabled. Defendant Kevin Marchant says his relationship with Christina was a roller coaster, and she's a gold digger who uses him for money, even though she makes more money than he does. Kevin is countersuing Christina for the balance due on a refrigerator.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Okay, Kevin's so cheap, he squeaks when he walks, okay? This is how cheap Kevin is.
What years did you all date?
Pardon me?
When did you begin dating?
2017, 2018.
Okay. What did you find cheap about him then?
Well, we'd go out to dinner and he would order an entree and have 2 plates delivered. We'd split the entree, okay. I ordered a margarita and he told the waiter no tequila. This was our first date. Okay.
You told him you didn't like alcohol in your beverage or something?
But I know how to order for myself, Your Honor. Okay. So, and that was my point. I know how to order. I didn't need him to order for me, you know. That should have been the first red flag. The second red flag would have been different things that we'd done together the first 6 months we dated. He would put like $20 in my gas tank, like on the second or third of the month. By the time the end of the month came, I got a bill for like $150, and he'd say, well, I put $20 in your gas tank here, and I bought you a pack of cigarettes here, and I bought you a soda here, and then by the time the month came, it was like $150, and I thought,
You
why?
didn't give it to him.
Why do I have a? Yes, I did. Why do I have a boyfriend if you're, tallying it up?
Right.
It,
Can't buy you a tank of gas or a pack of cigarettes.
Right, and it was gracious of him to do it at the time. It's just not all the time was I aware that I'd have to pay for it at the end of the month. I could have just stayed home, Did
you ever go over these issues with him and tell him he was a little too frugal for you?
I have.
What was his response? Saving it for your child's
No, he would say,
college?
well, you still owe me $170, and I hadn't said anything about it.
And how long did that last?
Well, it lasted about 8 months, 9 months.
Okay. And how did it end? Who decided to leave the relationship?
I decided to leave it after my animal was hit.
Okay,
He ran
and that's
over my
what
dog.
we're here for. All right, we'll discuss that. Sir, you want to address any of the things she's saying?
Yeah, I've been going out with Christine for about 2 years, and it's been like a roller coaster. She just uses me.
Uses you how?
Oh, when she runs out of money, she needs me to put gas in her car, buy cigarettes. She gets more money than I do in Social Security.
So why don't you just say no then? Why didn't you tell her that when she asked?
She called me. She went to North Dakota a couple months ago, and she needed a ride home from
So why don't you tell her
Vegas.
you make more Social Security than I do?
I tell her that, but she's always broke.
Well, if I lived with my mom and dad, I would be having money too, but I don't. I have a home. He lives with his mom and dad.
I live with my mom and dad because my mom and dad are sick. My dad's got pneumonia right now. My mom's getting pneumonia. I live with my mom to take care of my mom and dad. But, I love this woman, but there's nothing.
So you pay the rent for them? What is
there
it?
ain't nothing I can do to make her
What is it that you
happy.
do for your parents that prohibits you from living a similar lifestyle as her?
Living a similar lifestyle?
Yes,
I'm
you
there to
said-
take care of my mom and dad because they're
Yeah.
elderly.
I know, you pay all the money. What do you do? What do you mean taking care of? You pay all the household bills?
No, I don't pay the bills.
Well then, we're talking about money right now. What money do you spend on your parents that you keep talking about you take care of? Money, how much?
I don't spend money.
Thank you, that's what we're
I don't
talking
spend
about
money
today.
on my mom
we're
and
talking
dad.
about money.
Okay.
All right, now what are you suing him for? How does he owe you for a vet bill?
His parents and him live out in the country. We took my dog. We went for a drive in the back of the truck. My dog was in the back of the truck. We stopped. We pulled over. We sat on the back of the tailgate, and we were talking, and something came up about the potatoes or something, but he got into the truck, and I was still on the back of the truck because he was just going to drive a little bit up the road. And he started to drive up the road, and he was going kind of fast. Next thing you know, I heard my dog squeaking and hollering, and he had ran over my dog, the back part of his leg, which it got pulled out, and you could see his bone and his flesh. We immediately picked up the dog and took him to his vet. He called his vet. We took him in there, and he stayed there for 5 days. The vet released him and said there was nothing further he could do, and gave me a number of a surgical center that could help my animal to put his hip back in. His hip came out. And so for 4 months, Your Honor, I've been watching my dog hop around on 3 legs. It's getting cold in the morning time, and he can't get up. He can't walk across the floor. And it breaks my heart to see this every day.
Your Honor, I tried to talk to her about this when we were coming home from Vegas one night, and she didn't want to talk it. Her boyfriend was there. He jumped on me. I need surgery on my shoulder right now because he blowed out my shoulder.
What is he talking about?
It didn't have anything to do with the pet, my pet.
I didn't think so. What is he
That's
talking
the problem that I
about?
have, Your Honor.
Oh.
Okay, let's go back to what we were talking about, what the case is about.
The case, yeah.
All right, she's
She's the gold digger. She's trying to use me to pay this. I don't have the money to pay this.
Okay, that's your defense? You don't have the money?
There's a leash law in California. The dog is not on a leash.
Mm-hmm. Describe what happened.
We went out to this potato field to get some potatoes. And she was in the back of the truck, and the dog was running beside my truck with no leash. He seen a squirrel, so he shot across the front of my truck. I hit him in the back of the leg and knocked his leg out of whack.
You didn't see the dog running without the leash before it happened?
I seen him running without the leash,
And you
but
knew it was against the law?
yeah.
Okay. So you participated in an illegal act that resulted in the damage to the dog. What's your counterclaim for?
It's for the refrigerator that I bought her.
You bought her the refrigerator?
Yeah, I bought the refrigerator.
And now you
She
want
was
it
supposed
back.
to make payments on it. Two or 3 days after I bought the refrigerator, I go up to her house, and here's her boyfriend sitting on the front patio. He asked me, what am I doing there? And I said, I come to see Christine. And he told me that they've been going out for 3 years, and I've been going out with her for 8 months at a time. So I want her to pay for this refrigerator.
What were the terms of the repayment?
Huh?
What were the terms of the repayment?
To make the payments on the refrigerator every month, and she's only made 4 payments on the refrigerator.
Okay.
And I bought it back in July of last year.
All right, ma'am, what do you say to the refrigerator?
I had just moved into a new house. I didn't know what my bills were going to be in that house.
She lives with her mom and dad, too.
No, I don't.
She
You
said
just
she
moved
didn't,
out of your
sir.
mom and dad's.
Okay,
Go
I've
ahead.
not lived with my mom and dad. He said, well, you need a refrigerator. And I said, I could go to a secondhand store and get a refrigerator. No, you need a new refrigerator. I said, no, I don't. And here he comes up my front door walkway the next morning with the
She's
refrigerator.
lying. She was with me at Home Depot when I bought
I
it.
don't understand.
Did you agree to pay for it?
No, I didn't know what I
He
could
said
pay.
you made some payments toward. He said
Because
you
I
made some
felt
payments
sorry for
toward.
him.
Oh, yeah, you
Okay,
feel
and now
sorry
you don't
for
feel
me.
sorry
I don't
anymore?
feel so far.
Let's keep feeling sorry. All right, because
Yeah,
we're going to
feeling
pay for
sorry.
that.
Yeah.
When people tell me that, ma'am, I know that meant they agreed and now they don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt sorry
She's a
for
gold
him
digger.
then, so I paid.
I'm a gold
I gave him
digger.
hundreds
She's a gold
of
digger.
You're
dollars.
running over my animals.
Even though I didn't owe it, I gave him hundreds of dollars,
Yeah.
knowing that I didn't owe because I felt sorry for him. Well, let's not stop feeling sorry.
Okay.
You only have $700 worth of sorry to go. All right? So feel $700 worth more of sorry, and your mind should be clear. Now, the leash law, did you know that that was the law? You should have. You had a responsibility to know that you had to keep the dog on the leash.
No, not on a farm field. I did not.
Okay.
No, because we
Let's
were
see what you have.
on a dirt field.
Well, I think it's based on the municipality or the town or what have you, not based on the,
But
unless it defines the location.
You're-
Away from home, dog owners must restrain their dog using a handheld leash no longer than 6 feet. The person holding the leash must be capable of controlling the dog.
Okay.
And your defense is what again? You didn't know?
I did not know about that, but Your Honor, he should have had automobile insurance to cover that, and he didn't. It expired at midnight that
Yeah,
night.
no one's required by another person to have auto insurance. They're required by the law.
Right.
But you can't tell a person what he's required to do. Divide.
I couldn't afford my payment on my
divide
insurance because I spent the money on her.
Right.
Into.
Because you billed me.
Okay, ma'am, I'm gonna grant you half. I'm gonna call this comparative negligence, meaning you all are each responsible. He knew it was against the law what he was doing,
Yes.
and although you didn't know, you did violate the law. And ignorance of the law is no defense. So knowing the law and allowing this negligence to happen, he's gonna have to pay half.
$14.54.
That's $14.54 is your judgment, and his judgment is $708 for the refrigerator, I believe you owe him for. Have a good day. Those
Thank
are my
you.
judgments.
I should have had her on a leash, I guess, huh?
I guess that cheap people get away with things. We're still friends. We're still friends. We'll always be friends. We've been friends for 30 years.
Yeah, we're friends. It's just, we can't be lovers.